Welcome, SFL Nation, to Greenwood District Stadium in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The SFL preseason is underway, and tonight the Florida Storm take on the Tulsa Desperados. With Charles Doherty on stats, Stephen Mullinex is the analyst, and I am Commissioner Cameron Irvine. Stephen, welcome back to the broadcast booth.
Hey, buddy, we're getting the old band back together, and boy, we're going to make some sweet string music tonight with these two teams. The Storm getting this newly named Florida Storm. We're going to get the first chance to see them officially, and the Tulsa Desperados. Cam, this is a team that went through some drastic off-season changes. It's going to be fun to watch them get it on tonight.
Tulsa switching quarterbacks with Arizona. Some new faces on both of these defensive lines, including some big names, Tomaello and Demora, specifically on these fronts. And, you know, preseason, never sure what you're going to get and what you'll expect. But tonight, I'm sure we'll see some fireworks.
Yeah, I hope too, Cam. You know, these are going to be vanilla schemes that these coaches are putting in. So you never know, like you said, if we're going to see those fireworks or not. But what we will see is some great debuts by some very talented rookies tonight and some new players on new teams.
All right, so Tulsa's got the ball on the tee. Their kicker is Gavin Rainey, and the SFL preseason is underway. Kick it. Here we go. We're off and running in season 14 as Florida, man, 4 seconds in
already.
Stephen. 4 seconds. Florida on the return. That was number 24, Joshua Paul. And here we go. Ron Cochran back out there for another season, his 6th.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cam. Cochran is coming off one of his more struggling seasons, 21 interceptions, 21 touchdown passes. First time since his rookie season, he's either matched or had actually more interceptions than touchdown throws.
The handoff on the first play is going to be a 2-yard loss. That's J.W. Doyle. Check that. That was actually number 41, Noel Cap, getting the handoff for the Storm, and the tackle made by Ball in the backfield.
Yeah, and Florida once again this season has elected not to invest in their running back, and well, you can see why right now. They're spreading things out.
10:26 to go in the first quarter. Cochran going to throw for the first time this preseason. Dumps it off. Short pass is caught for a 6-yard pickup on the reception. Robert Merrill in his 7th season, one of a handful of players on this Storm squad that are entering their 7th season in the league.
Well, for the past 4 seasons, 3 out of the 4, the Storm have won the championship. Didn't win it last season. We'll talk more about that after this play.
3rd and 7 at the 31. 4 receivers, 2 to either side. They're going to hand the ball off, and that is near a first down for Cap, but only a pickup of 6. They needed 7. Barry Barkley, who's coming over from San Francisco in the offseason, saved the first down, and it's a 3-and-out for the Storm early.
Well, I'm going to remind everyone these are vanilla playbooks, and this Storm team obviously want to take a look at this running back to see how effective he can be. Not too effective here early. But as I was talking before, the Storm coming off an 8-4 season, got into the playoffs again, didn't make it to the championship game, which is unusual for them. Here's this punt.
Agrippa with a booming kick. We saw what he could do in the showcase. How about what Charles Ball can do in the return game, all the way up to the 32, about a gain of 15 on the play for Charles Ball, and this guy has been an electric returner for years in the SFL.
Yeah, Cam, I think actually me and you were on the call several seasons ago when he made his rookie debut, and boy, what a splash he made as a rookie. And coming across here early on, he's going to have a resurgence, it looks like.
That was against the Red Devils wearing blue, if I remember correctly. That was a strange uniform night. Deacon Nickens, for the first time this season in a Tulsa uniform, pass is caught for a first down. Mike Osai, one of the returners to this offense, 8th SFL season, gets the first down.
Well, you know I love Mike Osai. He used to play for me when I used to own the Dallas Lobos and the Roughnecks. He actually had a record 167 receptions, 19,000 yards, and 15 touchdowns back in season 11. A real record setter.
1st and 10 at the 42, 9 minutes to go. Nickens under center. And he'll hand the ball off. Sonzo Robinson lost 2. Robinson, he had a breakout season, I thought, last year. And down the stretch, really more in particularly, he was quite good.
Yeah, he's been in the league for 4 seasons, and here in Tulsa, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in season 12 and season 13.
2-yard loss there. 2nd and 12 at the 40. 8:30 to go in the first quarter. 2 in the backfield. Handoff on a little draw to Robinson, and Robinson gains 2, got it back. So it's 3rd and 10 coming up at the 42-yard line.
Cam, let's talk a little bit about the offseason losses here for Tulsa. Some big names. Ashley Jackson, the quarterback. Gib Ledoux, the defensive end. Kanye Rockefeller, the safety, all gone in the offseason, and they brought in brand new faces to replace them.
3rd and 10 at the 42. Nickens is going to go empty out of the shotgun here. 3-2 look for the Storm defense. And Nickens stepping up in the pocket, going to be sacked. A 6-yard loss. And the Storm come up with the first major stop of the game, and that is newcomer Jeff Malinishin over from London in his 4th season, the safety getting the sack.
Yeah, and you know what? You got to give a lot of credit to the coverage. Just Nickens here standing in the pocket, waiting for someone to get open. Really doesn't have an opportunity to escape and maybe run out of the pocket. And Malinishin just puts his helmet right between his numbers there.
Chat shoutouts: Iceman Gervin 44, Insanity 21, Minson Mind, Anmo 22, AJ Today Jackson, Dave Axis, Mike Improda, Helios 12, Nick Castle, Madi RX, all in the house and many more, as Paul returns it up to the 30.
And Minson Mind, extra points for spelling my last name correctly, sir. Congratulations.
Yeah, even the broadcast director can't do that.
He can't.
Did you notice that?
For the life of him, he can't. I've told him over and over.
That's one of those things where, some old man keeps calling you Stan, and you say, you know what, that's just my new name.
That's right. I just adopt Stan.
1st and 10 at the 30, 7:20 to go in the first quarter. Cochran under center, back to throw. Cochran with a pocket breaking down, but able to scramble away, gets it off the tap, picks up 3, and all the way outside to make that play was DJ Majesty, one of those newcomers onto this defense coming over from Carolina in his 6th SFL season.
Yeah, but this guy's a monster defender. It's no newcomer as far as people who follow the SF. This guy had 110 tackles last season for Carolina, 2 sacks, a monster get for this Tulsa team.
Split backs, heavy look here on 2nd and 7 for Florida. And a toss play near side, and Doyle is pummeled. A 3-yard loss. Majesty again making the play in the backfield, and I don't think that's what J.W. Doyle was hoping for on his first carry of the preseason. 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, like a torpedo, like a radar ding. There's Majesty, just finds him in the backfield. And this is, again, they're trying Doyle, and they're trying their running back and trying to test these guys out to see what they can do and what they can't.
4 receivers in there, all going long. Cochran deep, wide open, caught for a first down at the 49. That's a pickup of 19 yards, and that pass hauled in by big number 89. That's wide receiver Jose Galliano out of the slot.
And wow, they overload the right-hand side here, and I think every receiver was pretty much open, although there was ball there lingering. But look, we were having questions, this offseason. Florida lost Jeff Como, who was just a big receiver for them, 1,000-yard receiver, and we're wondering who's going to take his place. Thought it might be Stephen Bush. We'll talk about him more later.
1st and 10 at the Tulsa 49, and Cochran's in trouble, and Cochran goes down as a 9-yard loss way in the backfield, and showing off his jumper is Espen Real, and we've seen a safety getting a sack, a linebacker getting a sack, and Cochran also wearing a new number this season, number 19.
Well, Cam, when you lose someone like Gib Ledoux, a sack master in this league, you're going to have to find ways to generate sack and pressure on the quarterback. Using the linebacker, someone like Espen Real, could be the answer to that.
Cochran changing the plays. Again, overloaded on that right side. Cochran stepping up, firing down the left side. It's intercepted at the 30. On the return, 40. And all the way up to the 46-yard line for Tulsa. Barkley of San Francisco, formerly San Francisco, has made a couple of big plays defensively in the first quarter. And Cochran will trot to the sideline on an INT as Klein pulled a double move right into the coverage.
Well, Barkley chalks in at 6'3", 220. Cam, when that pass was first picked up, I thought a linebacker had picked it off. That guy was so big out there, but really just read the ball well, read the quarterback's eyes, comes away with the pick.
So Nickens out there for his next possession. I formation. Nickens looking around, fires it outside, caught by the fullback, Marshall. Pickup of 6 on the play. Buffalo Marshall, the long-standing fullback on this Desperado squad.
Okay, I'm Deacon Nickens coming over from Oklahoma City. A disappointing season last year, 14 touchdowns, 21 receptions, and a career-low 86.7 QB rating. Certainly looking for redemption in a new environment here in Tulsa to which he can succeed.
2nd and 4 at the 48. Now in Florida territory for the Desperados. 2 receivers on the short side left. Handoff on a draw. Robinson breaks a tackle. Robinson got 3. Really made something out of nothing there as Nicholas Warner, who came over from Denver, on the stop. And you don't often see this Storm team with a lot of new faces, but this offseason in particular, they got a couple of good hires defensively.
Yeah, why not mix things up, after a season where you didn't achieve that championship status? Why not mix things up here as it looks like Robinson gets the first down?
He does, and more so after getting 4, then 5 yards inside the Storm 39, or inside the Storm 40, rather, and we'll get another look at that with Marshall leading the way. Carroll tried to get over there, but just couldn't get around Frank Champion.
Yeah, and just a nice job by the offensive line here, blocking and opening a gap for Robinson, who we've known as a bit of a speedster, but he also has a nice balance of power, too. There we see a little bit of both on display.
Empty set here for Nickens on 1st and 10. They're not messing around. Trying to get the first points on the board of the preseason in either game. Nickens going all the way to the end zone, and he way overshot his intended receiver. Applying some pressure up front was the defensive tackle, Dante White. This Storm defense doesn't have anybody of note in particular in the trenches of that defensive line, but 2 stellar defensive ends in Alex Dominguez and Alessandro Tomaello.
Yeah, I actually think the defensive tackle there pushed the offensive lineman into Nickens. That's why we saw the wayward ball.
3:28 left in the first. Both games right now in the SFL preseason still scoreless. Robinson ducking back inside. It's a solid 4 yards. And sometimes in the preseason, Steven, you're just looking for, how players look, how they move, how they interact with their teammates. Are they gelling? Are they in sync? And Robinson looks sharp here in the early going.
Yeah, and, especially on a team like so many changes this offseason, you need to take advantage of every opportunity to build that much-needed team chemistry.
3rd and 6. Nickens has a chance to keep the chains moving. Floats one up, and the pass is caught by Osai, and it's a Tulsa touchdown. I'm not sure if the official may have picked off a defender there and knocked him to the ground, but Osai became wide open down the stretch of that play, and Deacon Nickens has his first unofficial TD in a Tulsa uniform.
Well, I think Evan Carroll is actually the defender who just misplaced the ball. I'm not exactly sure where his eyes were. When he turned his head, the ball was already nearly past him, and Osai, using that jet speed to get past the defender, just made it an easy pitch and catch.
I think Evan Carroll lost the ball in the lights or something there. But you're absolutely right. He misjudged that by about 10 yards.
Boy, this Nickens-Osai connection could be exciting this season. One to watch for sure.
Nickens had his moments in Oklahoma City. Of course, this is his 5th season in the league. He spent the previous 4 with the Renegades before they were sold and moved to Arizona. But Nickens, he would have these games. I don't know if you recall, Mullinex, the game where he rushed for, it was like a 75-yard touchdown run where he just kind of scrambled out of the pocket. I mean, he has shown flashes of brilliance his entire career.
Well, Irvin, a lot of his time is spent in the shotgun.
See, you try to execute it like a vet, and you blow it.
Well, I'll tell you what, all right? I'll tell you what. He spent a lot of time in the shotgun. I mean, they really like to throw the ball in Oklahoma City. And he didn't get a lot in run support. So in a more balanced situation here in Tulsa, let's not forget Tulsa last season, the 7th passing offense. So they're used to throwing the ball and throwing the ball a lot here. I think it's a good fit. Irvine.
1st and 10 at the 28. Cochran flips it outside, and it's caught by Tapp, pickup of 3. Cochran's up to 30 yards. Cochran is, I guess, in the chat saying that the backup's number 19. No, that's definitely him out there. We have the backup as number 18 on our roster sheet. It's preseason for everybody, but that's definitely Cochran out there.
Must have grabbed the wrong jersey.
So, that's right, 2nd and 7 at the 30. So maybe he will be 3 next week after all. Loss of 6 yards on the play. Another sack up front for Tulsa. And swinging the bat. Boy, Tulsa's got some athletes out there hitting jumpers and hitting home runs. Chris Andrews, the rookie, the 3rd-round selection of the squad, makes the play.
Yeah, and they served that up on a silver platter. That was actually a play that was designed to be a screen pass, but Tulsa just defended it so well, Cochran had nowhere to go.
Out of the gun, split backs, trying to beat the defense down the field again, but Tulsa's off defensive front is there once more. Cochran was sending everybody deep, and this time Berto Demora, the 1st-round pick for Tulsa, makes the play. The Desperados took 3 defensive linemen in the draft, and it's all paying off so far in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, actually 4 total rookies along their defensive line. You know, we talk about now the Jacksonville Kings and how they have a dominant defensive line. Well, more and more teams have been adopting that philosophy as the seasons have gone on. And to have 4 rookies invested on that defensive line, we're going to see some exciting things from this Tulsa defense this season.
At the 40, Ball trying to get another good return out there. Gets up to the 44-yard line. And, of course, if you're a rookie or a veteran out there and you see something that doesn't look quite right, this is the preseason after all. And I can't even tell you how many different manual calculations were made to put these rosters together. It's probably over 100,000. If you see something funky, make sure to go into on-field errors on Discord and report something that you don't think is right. And make sure to talk to your team owner first to see just exactly where that error might have come up, as Sanzo Robinson picks up 5 to the 49.
Well, Cam, this Tulsa team, they went 6-6 last season, but they were still able to sneak into the playoffs. Lost to Atlanta in their first postseason game, 27-17, but still able to make the playoffs after going 5-7 their previous 2 seasons.
2nd down and 5 at the 49 after the 5-yard run for Robinson. Nickens in some trouble, and Nickens goes down. And the defensive lines have the early advantage in this one. How about Evan Carroll making up for missing the play? Florida has gotten a sack on a safety blitz and a corner blitz in the 1st quarter. Makes you reevaluate what you think about defensive schemes, doesn't it, Stephen?
Yeah, because of the heavy investment on the defensive line, we're seeing more and defensive coordinators just letting their cornerbacks and their secondary just play back and play zone or maybe playing man-to-man, but hardly you ever see any of these guys rush the quarterback. So here we're seeing something different here in these vanilla schemes.
Final play of the 1st quarter. Nickens on a 3rd and 10. It's off the hands of the intended receiver. That was Marcel Miller, and that's why he doesn't get a ton of targets. And that will be the end of the 1st quarter. Tulsa's got to feel pretty good. Their draft picks are balling out on the defensive front, and Deacon Nickens has a touchdown to the veteran Mike Osai. Florida 0, Tulsa 7. You're watching the SFL preseason on Twitch TV. Well, around the league, Stephen, elsewhere tonight on YouTube, Mike Daggs and Matt Wilson are in Jacksonville for the first game in the SFL in Jacksonville. Arizona's got their first points of the Scorpions era. It's 3-0. I think we've had the better game so far.
Yeah, I would agree. And but, all of these preseason games are going to mean something different to all these SFL fans. For some of them, it's really their first official time to see their player on the field, and that's got to be exciting.
In their uniforms, too, which is always fun. Paul returns it up to the 18. 10:52 to go in the first half, so we get another look at Cochran in the offense. Haven't seen too much of Optimus Klein yet, but he is always a force. Optimus Klein, Robert Merrill, Alex Dominguez, and Evan Carroll have been with this franchise since its inception.
And probably all, Hall of Fame players. I mean, these guys have multiple championships under their belts.
First down to the 18, a little delay handoff, and it looked like for a second it was going to be effective, but the blocks can't hold up against Espen Real. Second tackle for loss of the night. Real in his 8th season is actually, along with Mike Osai, the two most veteran players of either team on the field tonight.
Well, I actually had a chance to talk to the owner and head coach Deion Hawkins of this Tulsa team. He said they're really leaning on Espen this year. They've actually promoted him to GM in order to help them with some of their offseason losses.
Doyle gets the handoff, and look who it is. Real on the tackle, pickup of 2 to set up a 3rd and 9 for Florida. And just to pat myself on the back real quick after the initial Alaska blunder, not a single one since. I'm feeling good, feeling empowered.
It's early, man. It's early. Pace yourself.
3rd and 9 for Florida at their own 19. Cochran has a clean pocket and puts a dime on the receiver's chest. A 17-yard gain to the 36. And getting up to show us his number, that is Stephen Bush coming over from Tulsa in the offseason, and he gets a catch on his former team.
Yeah, Cam, as you mentioned, this is his old team, and he's actually had success, had a 1,000-yard season in Tulsa back in season 11. And we talked about Alaska missing Como, and where are those numbers going to come from? I think it's going to come from Stephen Bush.
First and 10 at the 36-yard line. The handoff inside goes to Tap, only picked up 1. Another tackle there for DJ Majesty. So the linebackers really eating here for Tulsa in the first half, and we've seen some stellar linebacking duos last season. DeAndre Washington, Slyn Shady in London, Clint Hendershot, Dylan Rowland in Chicago, to name a couple of the top ones. Could this be another dynamic duo in the making with Majesty and Real? Doyle on the carry, got a head full of steam, picks up 8, and if you didn't see Jet Zero run for 69 yards and nearly a touchdown out of the fullback position in the showcase yesterday, it was the highlight of the day.
Well, the fullback position was the talk of the draft, Cam, coming so early and often. We're just seeing a reinvestment here with the extending rosters of some positions we normally don't see get investment for. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out through this season.
3rd and short. Heavy set. I'd expect a handoff up the middle here. Tulsa's selling out, man. They got 9 on the line. Going to toss it out and not going to get there. Real with the stop. And how about Tulsa? They were not fooled for a second. If Florida would have thrown that over the top, it would have been game over. But Tulsa sells out, and they get the stop.
Yeah, when you toss it out like that and you put really a hat on a hat there blocking, you're just hoping that your offensive linemen in there and the tight ends are able to hold up just long enough for your back to get past the line of scrimmage. In this case, no go.
Desperados nearly get a block punt. Ball standing at his 11 gets to the 15, so the punter, Marcus Agrippa, has not had a chance yet to pin the Desperados inside the 10. I'm sure Florida's eager to see how their punter does. A second-round pick on this squad, and overall, we'll see 7 players who were drafted tonight, 7 of the 60, which is a pretty high number. And then there were also 3 undrafted free agents on this squad. So 10 rookies overall on the field tonight to get a look at. 1st and 10 of the 15, the handoff inside. Look at Robinson with the burst. Up the middle, picks up 6.
Well, in talking to the owner here of Tulsa and Hawkins, those changes that he made in the offseason, he decided he wanted to be a little bit more hands-on in regards of play calling and scheme and overall direction of the team. So this is more Deion Hawkins' team than it's ever been.
Nickens, 2nd and 4, pass caught to the 25-yard line. And that is Jacob McCall, the rookie, scooped up in the second round and had some bright spots in the rookie showcase yesterday. And when you're that young, Steven, you play yesterday, you play today, you just play every day. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, I go for a walk over here in the park, and I need to rest for 3 days. That's what old age does to you. So, yeah, these young guys enjoy it while it lasts, and enjoy that metabolism. That didn't come back.
1st and 10 of the 25. Handoff goes to Robinson, picks up 2. Anytime I go on a walk longer than 25 minutes, my ankles start hurting, and Tomaello gets the tackle.
I'm right there with you, brother.
I was out to dinner with an old high school buddy. Hadn't seen him in 12 years, and we were reminiscing about the days where we had athleticism. And it just isn't happening anymore. 2nd and 8 at the 28. Nickens flips it outside, and Robinson's got some space. Robinson bowls over 2 defenders and gets a first down all the way out to the 42, and that was the most athletic play by either team in the first half.
And I'm loving it. This is a guy, Sanzo Robinson, who, Cam, he averaged just 3 yards per catch last season. That was dead last in the SFL for any running backs who played at least 12 games. So getting him more involved as a receiver out of the backfield, which I personally know a lot about, is super important for this Tulsa team.
Are you saying that Robert Redford might be catching some passes this year?
I'm just saying that Ray Bentley caught a buttload of passes last year. That's what I'm saying. I'm not giving anything away.
Okay, 1st and 10 at the 42. As Nickens goes under center with 2 in the backfield. Nickens 3-step drop, flips it outside. That pass is caught. That's the fullback to the 47-yard line and a pickup of 11. Buffalo Marshall with his 2nd catch, and he's showing the scoreboard to Andrew Francis here early on in this ball game.
Oh, beautiful executed play there, getting the fullback in the middle of the field wide open, and that gives hope to all these rookie fullbacks or new fullbacks in the league. You can be part of the passing game.
Nickens again, and a diving effort made there to get the interception by Ryan Davidson at corner, but once again, Mike Osai outsmarts the Storm defense. A highlight tonight for the Desperados.
Well, if you're a Tulsa fan, you've got to be excited. But you're seeing here against a top-tier Alaska defense, you've got so many new parts that you're trying to put together. It's just nice to see them in this first preseason game have so much early chemistry.
2nd and 5 of the 42. Robinson behind a lead blocker. Going to push ahead for the first down to the 36-yard line. Alex Dominguez coming up from behind to make the play. Stephen, what do you make of Dominguez's quiet season last year? When we talk about some of the best defensive linemen in the league, his name didn't come up as often as it usually does last season.
Yeah, you're right. He posted his lowest sack total in his entire 6-year career with just 12, Cam, which was surprising. This is a guy who's been a monster in this league, former defensive MVP of this league, and again has won numerous championships. But I think it was a little bit addition by subtraction, Cam, that more teams actually zoned in on him and allowed other defenders to get a little bit more glory.
After the 3-yard Robinson run, 2nd and 7 with under 4 minutes to go in the first half. And Nickens and the Desperados offense has dominated time of possession here as Marshall picks up 4. Davidson with the tackle on the outside. Davidson, previously a safety, transitioned over to corner, but still a staple on this Florida D.
Yeah, and a guy that had 77 tackles, 15 pass defense, and 6 interceptions last year.
Hand off and going the wrong way. Robinson had no lane to run through, and that'll stop the drive in its tracks. And I think we'll get to see undrafted free agent Gavin Rainey out for his first field goal attempt of his career.
Yeah, although you wish that had a different outcome there if you're Tulsa. At least you get an opportunity now to test your unproven kicker who's a rookie.
46 yards away for Mr. Rainey, 6'3", 220. Pretty big kicker out there. And with under 3 minutes to play, snap a little off center, but Rainey's kick is good from 46 yards, and Tulsa has built a 10-0 lead at home. So, Stephen, of course, the last time we saw the Storm on the field, they were giving up that play to Mason Kirby, and it just a total deflator. Max Paul said after the game, look, we just simply were in the wrong defense, and it happens sometimes. How much you think that is weighing on the mind, either good or bad, for Florida coming into this season?
I don't think it weighs on their mind at all. I mean, you win 3 championships in a row, and you have a fluke play, not to take anything away from Seattle, but have a fluke play beat you in the playoffs. I think you just chalk it out as being that, a fluke. This is a team that went 8-4 last season. They didn't lose a single game at home, Cam, and they were the only team in the league to defeat Denver last season, the eventual champion. So, taking all that into account, I don't think Alaska lost much sleep to that loss.
2 in the backfield, heavy look for the Storm. Cochran back to throw. Great pocket. Dumps it off to Doyle. How in the world he find J.W. Doyle? Picks up 3. He was hiding behind a few offensive linemen up front, and Real brings him down eventually.
Yeah, it looks like Doyle was blocking. You know, they talk about, drawing plays up in the dirt. Well, he didn't have a chance to do that. He just really caught the eyes of the quarterback, saw that he's in trouble, and they kind of made up the play in their minds on the spot.
2nd and 7 coming up on the 2-minute warning. And the handoff goes to Cap, Noel Cap, and didn't get much. 3rd and 7 after the 2-minute warning. Another tackle from DJ Majesty. And we'll get to see Cochran with another chance to convert a 3rd down here in a minute. So the rest of the preseason action comes your way, 4 games tomorrow, the busiest slate of the week. Friday starting at 6, Denver, the defending champs, go to Atlanta. That's on Twitch, 6:05. Vegas hosts Houston. I know you're excited about that one, Stephen, as Cochran fires it down the field open. That's a 15-yard pickup. And a couple games in primetime, Carolina, Seattle, Charleston, Queen City, 9 Eastern. Rough estimate. That pass caught by Merrill down the field.
And Cam, this is something that we've been missing from Merrill. Only had 3 receptions. The forgotten man in this offense, but we've seen him have dominant seasons here in the SFL. And with Como leaving, there leaves a lot of looks there for guys like Merrill and Bush, and of course Optimus Klein.
First down at the 46 after the pass was complete to really a wide open Merrill. That's the most wide open we've seen a receiver all night. Minson over the middle holds on despite heavy traffic. This is an updated look at the quarterback numbers. Nickens having a great first half in his debut, but E.J. Minson, the rookie, gets his first catch.
And I love the pass, Cam, over the middle. It's really high. It takes advantage of Minson's 6'5" height and allows him to go up and get it. Love it.
A flip out and a broken tackle there by Doyle. Mark that one for the playbook for fullbacks. What a talented fullback Doyle is. Picks up 11 on that play. Now quickly, 45 seconds to go. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Doyle's best play of the night. That pass tossed out to the tackle. Mance Charles, who was an eligible receiver on the play, and he's got the case of the dropsies in the first half.
Yeah, but I love the call. Max Paul, he knows it's the preseason. Just draw a play up for the offensive tackle to try and catch the ball. But as a result, that outcome, I don't think that play will be in the playbook come the regular season.
Second down off the incompletion from a great play to Doyle to a not-so-great play to the tackle. This is trouble, and the pass was caught, and really, Cap probably should have just knocked that to the ground, made sure it wasn't picked. Instead, tried to do too much and lost 4, and now backing out, potentially, of Ethan Snead's field goal range.
Yeah, here, I wouldn't particularly look for Florida to try and convert this whole 3rd and 14. I think they just want to try and get something here into field goal range.
Third down with 33 seconds left. 4 receivers, 3 to the short side left at the top of the screen. Cochran going long, and it's picked off. What a play at the 18-yard line just in the last second before a potential touchdown. Tulsa takes the ball away, and it's Barkley's second pick, and this was a beauty.
Yeah, and if you're going to go to somebody in that situation, Optimus Klein has been money for Alaska over and over and over. There, the defender simply makes a better play.
So the Desperados pitching the shutout in the first half, and Barry Barkley looks good for his new squad. 1st and 10 at the 18. Nickens is staying aggressive, and Nickens is going to wish he took one less hit tonight. That's a loss of 7 and will probably be the final play of the half. Making the stop is Toma Ello, the first-round pick that many called the steal of the first round.
Well, if Nickens had gone the other direction, he would have had clear sailing. Instead, he just didn't have that awareness in the pocket. I think they might throw here.
They will. Last play of the half. Nickens trying to get something deep, and the pass is caught at the 38, but out of time. Still a pretty ball from Deacon Nickens to end the half, and it's Corey Jones, the player with 5 seasons of experience with this Tulsa squad, the only one on the offensive side of the ball with that much. A beautiful grab, and Tulsa going to go into halftime feeling themselves with a bunch of momentum, 10-0 over Florida as we get our first half stats and highlights. That was a fun first 22 minutes.
It was. Yeah, you're right.
And we'll have a shortened break. There you go. It's never too early, Stephen, for
those are the ones I love. Let's get back to the action.
for 2K to dictate.
Yeah, it didn't give you a chance to go get that sandwich and chips. You're going to have to sit right there and take the rest of this game.
That's right. That's when you get the assistant off the chair. Get to work.
Ooh. Oh, I'm about to say something right there, but not say.
There you go.
Already self-editing. We're in prime season form right here.
And of course, in the preseason, you don't have any timeouts either, so it just rolls on through. On the return, Charles Ball stops and starts again and gets past midfield before he's taken down to the 48-yard line. What a return by Charles Ball, and everything going right for Tulsa tonight.
See, if you had taken a bathroom break right there, you would have missed that great play by Ball. Yeah, we've known him to be a dynamic special teams returner. Has kind of fell off a little bit here in the last couple of seasons, but there, stops and starts a little bit. I'm not sure why he did that. If he would have just hit the pedal to the floor there, I think that would have been a touchdown.
Second-guessed himself, I think, a little bit.
He's not the only one.
1st and 10 at the Florida 48. Great field position for Nickens. And the handoff goes to Robinson. Robinson can't get anything. Nice job by Toma Ello to stretch that out. 4 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a sack in his first appearance. Not bad. Yeah,
an impressive rookie debut, and we're not even just over halfway through the game here.
10:30 to go in the second half, just getting things underway. Arizona and Jacksonville just hitting the halftime bell. 7-3. Kings on top. Delay to Robinson. He's got to fight through a handful of Alaska Storm defenders. Eventually Davidson brings him down, but Robinson manages to get 3.
Well, let's not forget that we actually heard the name Corey Jones there at the end of the first half. That's a player who had his first 1,000-yard season for Tulsa in his 6-year career. Spent the last 4 here in Tulsa, was in Vancouver, started his career in Houston.
3rd and 7 at the 45. Nickens converting or attempting to down the middle. The pass actually nearly caught through the hands of the defender, Marcel Miller, the intended target for the second time. He'll come up empty. So the opening possession, despite the great field position for Tulsa given by Charles Ball, will end in a punt.
Yeah, but Tulsa can still take advantage here, get a good punt here and put them deep in their own in the shadow of their own goal post, and that could be a nice opportunity for your defense to get this offense back with even better field position.
Desperados punt it away. Punter is Cortland Weaver inside the 10. This is going to be a positive result down to the 4. That's where Florida will start with it. Good play down the field by Travion Bryant, and I'd like to see J.W. Doyle get some more looks. And Klein, too. Klein's really been shut down most of the night.
Yeah, the last time that Cochran tried to go to Klein, it was an interception. So another opportunity here for this Tulsa defense here to keep Florida on the goose egg.
First down with split backs in the backfield, and Cochran hands the ball off. Doyle breaks a tackle. J.W. Doyle picks up 11, and a nice, powerful run up the middle for Doyle gets the first down for Florida.
You know, I really felt like at the beginning of last season, Alaska was still trying to figure out how to incorporate Doyle into their offense. And as the season went on, we just saw him have bigger and bigger games, Cam. Actually finished the season with 701 yards and 10 touchdowns. 10 touchdowns, double digits for a fullback. Very impressive.
Couple minutes into the third, settle in. SFL preseason underway. The regular season gets started 8 days from tonight, and these will actually be our only broadcasts on a Thursday. In fact, this is probably the first broadcast on a Thursday in years as Cap loses 3, another play by Majesty in the backfield.
Well, some of these preseason games can be stinkers. This has not been one so far. This has been a really good effort by both teams, especially defensively, and it's nice to see some things come together offensively for Tulsa.
3 receivers on second and long, all to the bottom of the screen. Cochran drops back, airmails it middle, caught, and Klein wins the battle there over Barry Barkley. He was going for the trifecta, but Klein wasn't going to let him have another one.
Well, Cam, this is just throw it up to your number 1 wide receiver and let him get it in a sea of desperados. This is why this guy's a future Hall of Famer. This is why this guy's turning in 1,000-yard performances season after season after season. You know, Alaska's known as a pretty conservative offense, but when they need a big play, they always go to number 88.
Who's known for conservative?
Florida. All right. We're still, it's going to take some time.
First and 10 of the 34. Cochran's pass incomplete. And feel free to call me out the next time I do it, Stephen. We all gotta learn. It's like a shock collar, as a Bush was the intended target there.
Oh, the chat's going to keep us right for sure.
T-Dub for Prez definitely is keeping you right. And me too, for that matter. 8:05 to go after the incompletion for Cochran. And Cochran will try again. Clean pocket, maybe too clean. That might be a hold down the field. We'll get the call. First penalty of the night. And it is a hold, but it's on Tulsa. Down the field, Nate Heslip, 5-season veteran, and a rare defensive holding call will give Florida an automatic first down.
Yeah, you're right, Cam. This is a league that really just allows the battle between the wide receiver and defensive backs to usually go uncalled. We see a lot of times the defenders rubbing wide receivers off their routes and things, and those never get called. So it's a surprise when R62 pulls that hanky for pass interference.
Out of the gun, 4 on the play clock, handoff, can't get away. Another tremendous play made in the backfield. This is Jaden Swift, one of those third-round picks, and this defensive front for the Desperados, as young as they are, everybody is a rookie on this front. They look impressive.
And scary, Cam, when you think that they're going to progress throughout this season and only get better.
Second and long, and a sack, and a big one at that. Ray Al's second of the ball game, and it's 3rd and 16. What a hit.
Wow, Cam, we don't see a lot of blitzes as effective as that during the regular season, but man, You talk about getting that great push from this rookie defensive line. One of the effects and the impacts of that is these linebackers have open gaps and lanes to go through right to the quarterback.
3rd and 16. Cochran in no man's land dumps it off short. Lucky he didn't get picked. Only a gain of a yard as Cochran finds number 85, P.J. Hernandez, running a little very shallow cross, and that ends the drive, and the defensive line for Tulsa owned Florida's offensive front on that series.
I concur, Cam. This is, although this may be a vanilla playbook, the play on the field is anything but vanilla. That stuff's chocolate down there, man. That's the good stuff.
From the 20 on the return of the 24. We had some issues with our stat sheet tonight, so we're unable to bring you live real-time updates on that. Sometimes technical glitches are unforeseen, so we'll work to get that corrected for the regular season. But 1st and 10 at the 24 for Deacon Nickens, who has had a fine evening in front of the hometown fans of Greenwood District Stadium on this beautiful Thursday night. A little rain coming in later tomorrow, but all clear now. 1st and 10 at the 24. And Nickens will start the drive with a pass, and he's going down the field. Oh, what a catch! An 11-yard pickup, and that is Anthony Mosley in his 2nd season. Again, another one of those players that's shown flashes of brilliance. He got smacked over the middle and still held on to it.
Oh, Cam, we're not going to get a replay of that, but that was beautiful. Yeah, he caught the ball mid-air, and he gets hit in mid-air, able to hold on to the ball.
2 in the backfield, and Marshall gets the flip out. Didn't get anything. Good closing speed out there by Nicholas Warner at linebacker. 6'3", 245. Some of these guys, man, I remember them when they were rookies, Steven. I feel like an old man out there. Warner's been in the league for 5 seasons. Goodness.
And that's the greatness that is the SFL. These players have weight. They have history. They have records. They've done things. They've made spectacular plays. To be involved in this league is to be part of that history.
Out to Marshall again. That's his 4th catch of the night. Gets 5. Ryan Davidson on the stop. It'll make it a 3rd and manageable for Nickens. And what this is looking like to me, Steven, is they're running Nickens through a lot of situations in this second half, keeping the ball in his hands.
Yeah, and testing him at all 3 levels, and he's been up to the task, short, medium, or long. He's made all those kind of passes and gone to all different kind of receivers.
Now he's rolling out to the left, fires it short, nearly intercepted, and then it was picked off by Malinishin down the sideline, and the Storm have a touchdown. An ill-advised throw from Nickens there as he tried to make something out of nothing, and Jeff Malinishin in his first game with the Storm with the pick 6 and gets Florida on the board.
Well, Cam, I love the play call in the sense that it rolled Nickens out of the pocket. I do not like the decision by Nickens on his choice of receiver, as that was in front of the first down marker, was tipped in the air, and then Malinishin able to come away with an interception. He didn't have any last season in London. So a good sign that he's going to have more success in those takeaways here in Tulsa.
Chat loving that look as Max Paul gives the eyeballs in the chat room. Extra point for Ethan Sneed. Up and good, and just like that, the Desperados faithful feeling a little bit nervous. Of course, Tulsa made the playoffs last season, went to Atlanta in the wild card round, came up a little bit short, but very competitive in that game. And down the stretch, Tulsa, they just got some monstrous victories. They blew out Seattle, who ended up making the championship game. They swept Charleston, played them very tough. Charleston, a very underrated team down the stretch last season, but this Tulsa squad kind of found some things, and even though they've got some new players and some new faces, many new faces on this team, they can harness that momentum that they built at the end of last season. This could be a dark horse team.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Cam. They were 4-2 at home. You talked about their defeat of Seattle That was in week 10. You defeat a team that went to the championship game. You got to feel good about the promise and potential of your team. And let's not forget, they started the season 0-3, Cam.
Nickens in trouble, and all of a sudden, Florida has built some momentum as Alex Dominguez, big sexy, gets his first sack of the night. And Malinishin also had a sack earlier, so he's got 4 tackles, a sack, a pick, and a touchdown.
Well, these preseason games are really built for the defenses to shine, without offensive scheming to try and negate some of this pressure. We're seeing the result here is the defensive line at points in the game they can just take over the contest.
Nickens going long, one-on-one coverage, it's picked off. Back-to-back interceptions by Nickens. Ryan Davidson step for step with the rookie McCall, and Davidson comes away with it, and the momentum now squarely with Florida.
Well, Cam, this is just a case of the defender running the route better than the receiver. And he ended up in the spot where Tulsa's receiver needed to be, and it looked like he just made the better play.
McCall might think about selling that a little better, too. He he was shot out of a cannon, or so he thought, but these veterans out there in the SFL, this ain't college ball anymore, Stephen. And it's all, there's always a little bit of an adjustment period to adjust for the speed and power and quickness of this game as Doyle picks up 2.
Especially at the very beginning, Cam, when you're still, maybe you haven't progressed your players somewhat, you haven't trained, and you're going up against SFL veterans who have been here season after season after season.
2nd and 8 at the 45. Cochran fires it down the field. That's nearly intercepted. Butterfingers deep, and looking down the field for the tight end Mark Myers. No tackle on that play. 3rd and 8.
Yeah, Cam, we're calling out here in the preseason, calling out some names that probably won't call out very much in the regular season.
Right.
That's part of the process. This is really an evaluation for both teams, so they can get a better idea of how their players are going to react and respond when it's the real thing.
3rd and 8 at the 45. Great block pickup there to get the first down. Not sure which offensive lineman that was, but that sealed the fate of Tulsa on that play as Robert Merrill gets the first down.
Yeah, and we've already seen what this young Tulsa defensive line can do. And there, you're absolutely right. A critical block made that happen, just giving Cochran more to find his receiver.
1st and 10 at the 34, 3:25 left in the 3rd quarter. Tulsa leads 10-7, but Florida has dominated the 3rd quarter. Deep ball down the field is caught. Down all the way to the 6-yard line. Saving the touchdown was Barkley, but that deep ball declined, and it's been the consistency of Florida and their players taking over in the 3rd.
Well, Cam, as an SFL quarterback, you got to know who's who in the zoo. And in this case, you got to recognize those mismatches. Sending number 88, Klein, there on a go route. He just Cochran saw the separation, was able to zip the ball in there.
1st and goal at the 6 on a counter. And Cap gets crushed. A loss of 1 in the backfield. And Ray Hall is staring him down. So is Majesty. Really loved what I've seen out of this linebacking duo tonight.
Cam, I don't know. I'm getting a little deja vu here. This is really indicative of what Alaska has done throughout their run. They'll seem to struggle at times, but when it's in critical points of the game, they come through with shining colors.
2nd and goal with a 7. Cochran dumps it off short, going the wrong way there, and it'll eventually be for no gain. That was another tight end, Shaba Debo. 6'5", 255, and I think Cochran missed Doyle for a wide-open touchdown.
And Alaska, they love to use their tight ends. They've had some really good ones here in the past. Julian comes to mind instantly for me, but even if they're not invested in tight ends, they love to use them.
3rd and goal, the pass off the mark. Klein, it was almost like Cochran thought Klein was going to the back pylon, and he cut off his route a little bit more to the inside, and miscommunication there will lead to a Ethan Snead field goal attempt.
Yeah, Cam, let's just mark that off to off-season rust. Those two not connecting up like they usually do. Hopefully they can get that cleared up before the regular season starts.
Hike the Earth asking, is this Alaska? Yes, although the Alaska Storm in the offseason relocated to the home of owner Max Paul, and where a lot of their players are centrally located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So the Florida Storm, the new moniker for the three-time champions. Can't call them defending champions anymore, but still three-time champion Florida Storm.
And you can't call them Alaska anymore, according to the chat.
Well, you can. It just would be incorrect. As many people all season will recognize. So 1:46 to go in the third. I would expect Tulsa to get Sonzo Robinson back going again. Robinson has not really been a focal point in the second half.
And I don't know if that's really been a focus enough for them. You know, that, again, they're trying to spread the ball around. And now tied in this kind of situation, heading into the fourth quarter, might not run as much.
Nickens going to stay with the pass, but does get it out to Robinson, and Robinson picks up 8. How about some scoregami in the other preseason game? Stephen, Jacksonville now leads Arizona 14-5. Obviously a safety getting involved.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the preseason. You know, that's kind of what we've talked about. The defenses seem to rule the day, one way or the other, and here, surely a nice defensively contested game.
2nd and 2 at the 36 after the 8-yard completion. There's a flag, and that looked like a hold there off that left side. You see the grab?
Yeah, and you know what? This is indicative of preseason football. You know, we've seen a flag for pass interference. For these referees, this is the preseason too, Cam. They need to shake off the rust as well. So we've seen some calls we typically don't see in regular season SFL games.
You know, somebody used to tell those officials all regular season long that it's not the preseason anymore. Sometimes it feels like
that's a job for the commissioner.
That's a job for the commissioner? No, that must be somebody else. 2nd and 12 at the 26, under a minute to go in the third quarter. Nickens changing the play. Got an empty backfield. Nickens taking a deep drop back, going way down the field. The pass is in double coverage and incomplete. Trying to hit Osai, and Nickens just simply underthrew it. It did look like Osai had started to beat the coverage down the field.
Yeah, Cam, maybe if Nickens takes just a little bit more of a breath, shoots that further down the field, that's a touchdown. But you got to credit Alaska for having defenders in the air to be able to knock it down.
3rd and 12 at the 26 off the incompletion. Could have been picked. 4 receivers, 3 to the left side. Nickens to throw. Clean pocket. Avoids a sack. And now has to get rid of it. And he did right at the last second. But how about the hustle from Ryan Davidson? Not only did he almost get the sack the first time, but then stayed with the play, got up off the ground, and forced an incompletion.
Yeah, something should have clicked in Nickens' head there after doing a really great job of getting out of that initial tackle. But, you know, that's one of the benefits, Cam, when you have a quarterback that's 6'7", 230 pounds. He's going to break some tackles there in the backfield. You just wish Nickens would have, taken off and ran the ball or thrown it away or did something with it.
He looked like Deshaun Watson there for a second on that play.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Just getting rid of the defender. So 10-0 at the half. The Storm scored 10 in a row. Malinishin with the pick 6, and then a chip shot for Ethan Snead from 24 yards out. Optimus Klein has started to get things going here, and it'll be an interesting fourth quarter down the stretch.
Yeah, it looks like this one's going to be a tight one.
4 receivers, 3 to the right. And a flip out to Cap, and it takes Cap forever to get to the other side of the field. And chasing him down, DJ Majesty, I think he thought he was on the track there for a second.
Yeah, it looked like the running back was in molasses there trying to get out of the backfield. So maybe the toss play isn't his forte.
2nd and 9. Cochran, handoff. Cap is buried by Majesty again.
Wow.
It's a 2-yard loss. DJ Majesty is balling here in the preseason. Put your 4s up. It's the end of the 3rd. Florida 10 and Tulsa 10. You're watching SFL preseason action on Twitch TV. Third down, 11 yards to go after the 2-yard loss. Back-to-back runs for Cap. Cochran, 3-step drop, quickly in trouble. Has to dump it off the Cap. Cap got a block, and Cap all the way nearly got the first down. I did not see who made I believe it was Chris Andrews on the right side of the line who immediately blew that play up, but a heck of an effort by Florida to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, if that tackle is able to get in front of Esmond Real, that might be first version, Cam. And that looked like a broken play as soon as Cochran rolled out of the pocket.
Tulsa comes after that one for probably the 3rd time tonight. Look at Agrippa. Get it all the way inside the 10, but it rolls into the end zone. We saw that a lot in the rookie showcase last night. Just a ridiculously powerful leg for Agrippa, and Agrippa's going to have to hone in on that power to get some more teams inside the 10 this year.
Yeah, and he'll certainly get an opportunity to do that if he stays faithful with his progression this coming up season.
Nickens has to get something going. Scoreless through that 3rd quarter. Out of the gun with Robinson to his left. And Nickens fires it outside. Caught. Nice toe drag from Mike Osai. 4th catch for 54 yards. I liked your agreeance there, Stephen. It reminded me of some old ladies at a coffee shop. Somebody says, you got to get those kids stop skateboarding on the sidewalk, and the other one goes,
Well, I agree. Those kids got to stop roller skating there on the sidewalk.
2nd and 7 at the 23. Nickens going long, and it's caught by Corey Jones. And look at Jones, the speed, 30, 20. Carroll can't catch him, and he's caught at the 1-yard line. What a heck of an effort by Ryan Davidson, but Corey Jones burns him on a go route.
Well, Cam, give a lot of credit to Deacon Nickens recognizing that Jones was so wide open. He actually only did a 1-step drop and fling the ball, and that's just a credit to the strength in the arm of Deacon Nickens. And then Jones is just about that pure speed. He's a 1,000-yard receiver for a reason right there.
Man, if I was Tulsa, I'd want to throw a little fade in the back corner to Jones, man. Got to get him his touchdown. He was 1 yard away, so close. Heck of a play by Davidson. Who knows, maybe it saves a few points. 1st and goal on the 1. Split backs. Nickens, handoff Robinson. Didn't get in. Bend don't break as Frank Champion makes the tackle.
Well, yeah, when you're down there at the goal line and everything is pressed and you've got an impressive defensive line like you have here for Florida, I'd like to run behind that fullback. Maybe they will here on this play.
2nd and goal at the 1. Nickens going to throw and is sacked. Robinson was covered up on the screen, and Dominguez gets his 2nd of the night. And what was 1st and goal on the 1 is now 3rd and goal on the 5.
Well, he was waiting for his tight end, Anthony Mosley, to get open field. He just didn't have enough time to wait and probably should have thrown that one out there to the running back, but takes the sack instead.
3rd and goal at the 5, trying to salvage what should have been a touchdown for Tulsa. They're going to run it to Robinson, and Robinson only got 3. And a couple of seasons ago, you would have never seen Tulsa run on 3rd and goal from the 5. That's how much they trust Robinson, but he comes up just a couple yards short.
And Cam, you were prophetic. That tackle made at the 1 has stopped them from getting a touchdown and literally taking points off the board.
Now a chipper from 18 yards for Gavin Rainey will at least put the Desperados back in front, and that field goal is good. So 8:03 left. Tulsa maintains a 13-10 advantage. Well, Stephen, of all the offseason storylines, of all the draft picks, of all the games on the schedule, everything that happened in the offseason, what was your favorite moment out there that you saw?
It has to be the draft, Cam. I mean, the live draft on television with actual draft picks in attendance, and getting to see the number 1 draft pick come in and get a hat and be introduced. And it was just really special what you guys did with the draft this season. And that's going to be the most memorable thing I take from this offseason.
I tell you what, some of the rookies, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that people didn't see on camera. You know, the rookies were actually kind of sitting sort of almost in a green room, so to speak, but they were kind of off to the side. There was a little group for chairs for the rookies to kind of sit in and wait their turn. I know that they were on the phones talking with teams during the draft and trying to figure out where they were going to go. And Johnny Pickler gets picked. He does his interview. Then he comes over to sit back down, talk to all his new teammates, get the congratulations, and they kind of had their own little space. And when the analysts were breaking down the draft, and I wasn't necessarily on camera, I was over there giving them high fives and kind of pushing them in a competitive way, like, let's get it, right? You're on a team, congratulations. And it was fun interacting with those guys, and that's something that as the commissioner of this league, I mean, years ago, would have never thought possible to share in that moment with them, the night and the moment that they were taken in the draft.
Well, in seasons past, I've been here since season 5. The draft was often an afterthought, kind of, Cam, and the showcase was really the games themselves. But it has become the crown jewel of the off season, and you guys took it to an entirely different level. And I'm really excited about what the future holds. And boy, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall to see all the behind the scenes things that happened during that draft. It seems like you guys had a lot of fun.
So Florida really comes up empty on that drive. Not a lot of big plays or even attempted big plays. So the Storm will boot it away. Agrippa gets that one all the way inside the 20. Ball tried to spin away, but will not get past the 20 down to the 19-yard line. This could be a momentum drive for week 1 for Tulsa for Deacon Nickens right now. If Nickens and the rest of the offense can put Florida out of their misery, so to speak, and go on a blood-sucking drive with 6:25 left.
Yeah, and you know what? The Tulsa struggled to run the ball here in the second half. So, any thoughts of salting this game away through the run alone is probably too early for that.
Handoff Robinson, and did not break a tackle. Great job holding on to the ankles there. I think that might have been Champion who stretched that out, but Robinson still picked up 7.
Well, yeah, just as I say that, they, of course, run the ball successfully. But yeah, this is what you'd want to do. You'd want to just run this clock. Let's get it down as low as we can get it. Even if we don't score, let's play the field position game here. Our defense here in Tulsa has been able to hold Florida back and hold this Florida offense. So time off the clock is everything right now.
Counter, Robinson, great blocking. Robinson breaks a tackle and gets a first down to the 36-yard line. And there was a receiver out there that did a stellar job holding a block. I hope we get a replay of that, and we will.
Well, not this counter run perfectly. Actually, Cam, the blocking terrific. And Robinson looks like he needs a Gatorade and a nap out there, but still has enough speed to pull off converting that for first down.
DeAndre Drink actually pulled the guard. He is a tall glass of water out there. 1st and 10 at the 36. 5:28 to go. Desperados up 3, and they are trying to salt this game away on the ground, but Robinson a little gassed, lost a yard. Tomaello makes another tackle in the backfield.
Yeah, I think this is going to come down, whether this is a successful series or not, it's going to come down to the arm of Nickens here at some point. And you've got to be enthused about what you've seen from your new quarterback under center here if you're the fan of the Desperados.
5 minutes left. Empty backfield. Nickens looking deep down the field. Oh, wide open.
Wow.
And Osai is overshot by the Deacon. And that is going to be, of all the throws tonight, the one Nickens would love to have back. That was 6.
Not going to get a chance to see a replay back, but I suspect, Cam, that Osai was probably stopped on his route at some point there by the defenders, and it wasn't called, just based on just how disconnected that play was.
2nd and 11 at the 34 on a counter to Robinson. Or actually, It was 3rd down. I beg your pardon, and it's 4th down there. So a couple of minutes shaved off the clock, but Nicholas Warner gets Tulsa off the field, and I think that was just a let's burn 40 more seconds play.
Yeah, but you're playing a dangerous game with this this Storm team that has made their bones coming back in situations just like this. I mean, is there anyone else in the league, Cam, that you'd want under center other than Ron Cochran in this type of situation?
Punt for Tulsa. And to answer your question, no, there's not. I don't think there is another quarterback out there I'd rather want. I mean, the amount of times that Cochran has drove down the field, maybe Matt Wilson. Okay, Matt Wilson is as clutch as they come, but for the amount of times that Cochran has driven down the field to win a game and executed, it's too many to count at this point. Heavy look here for Florida. They're only down 3, 4:10 to go, plenty of time. Cochran will hand it off to Doyle, and J.W. Doyle gets a few. Barkley with another tackle. Had a phenomenal first half, been a bit quiet in the second. Under 4 to play. Good showing, I think, really by both teams. We saw a lot of good stuff. Didn't see a lot of really horrible plays offensively. And these are two talented squads. And one of the big differences is Doyle picks up 2, Real on the tackle, Stephen. One of the huge differences this season is instead of 12 star players on the field, there will be 17. That's a monumental change to offenses and defenses alike.
And as an offensive coordinator, trying to get your head around play calling for that many stars on the field is tough.
Pass outside is caught wide open. Heslop and Barkley over there on the stop, but Optimus Klein, how does that happen? Somebody did not account for Optimus, and the drive will continue for the Storm under 3 to play.
I think it's just fear, Cam, fear of what Optimus Klein can do to down the field there, and he just runs a little short out and able to really easily convert that play.
High formation for Cochran, going to drop to throw. A 7-step drop, throwing a bomb. It's intercepted by Charles Ball. Now back on the return, 40-45 to the 46-yard line. Ball gets Cochran on his 3rd interception. First of the night for Charles, and he took that one away as Florida tried to fake a run, and nothing open.
And Ball here just playing center field, Cam, actually just reading the quarterback, actually peels off the man that he's defending in order to make that play. Just a veteran defensive play by Charles Ball. But again, Cochran, a possibly game-ending mistake.
Ha! Michael Torillo in the chat. That's the Ball game. Wow. He is ready for the regular season, I think. I don't even think he needs a preseason game. Although still 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning. Not done just yet, but it certainly helped Tulsa's cause. Dominguez makes the TFL in the backfield.
Well, an opportunity Tulsa had to really probably end this game with a long throw that was a misconnection with Mike Osai. But other than that, been pretty conservative in running the ball. And you got to say, as the time continues to leak off the clock, they should probably just continue to look to their ground game.
Don't need to run another play before the 2-minute warning, and Tulsa will not. In other preseason action, been looking over to my right here at SFL headquarters, and Taekwon Hale has just been doing work tonight on that Jacksonville front. It is 17-8 over there. The Kings in line to win.
Almost a baseball score.
17-8. A very high-scoring 4.5-hour baseball game. Toss. Oh, my goodness. Robinson, how in the world did he get rid of the first defender? 3rd and 15, but still an impressive use of force there.
Yeah, it's just a matter of Florida knowing exactly what Tulsa is going to do. They want to run the ball, and so they're just packing their defenders in there, stacking the box. And it's just giving Robinson, although he's able to overcome one of those tacklers, not able to overcome the second.
1:56 to go, 3rd and 15 on a draw to Robinson. Not much there either, so not done yet. Florida exhausting some timeouts, and they're stretching this thing out. Tulsa will have to punt it away again, and while focused on Robinson on that possession, really stellar job by the Storm, clamoring to get into the backfield to make the play.
Yeah, the defensive line absolutely destroyed the offensive line of Tulsa. That fake play didn't have a heck of a chance to work. It's the preseason, folks. I'm sorry. Trying to spit it out here.
Desperado's punting it away. They have not had a lot on the return game tonight at all. And I would suspect to see Stephen Bush is the usual returner in the regular season. Very unusual to see a running back returning kicks. So didn't get a chance to see what Bush looked like tonight on returns. But I'm sure Max Paul, no stone unturned. I'm sure he's seen Bush back there plenty in practice. 4 receivers for Cochran trying to get it done down the stretch. 3 picks tonight. Cochran has to dump it short. Nobody open. That was Merrill on a check down, and they got to go quick.
Yeah, does Cochran have another miracle in his arm? Let's see.
90 seconds left. 4-man rush. Cochran down the middle. Minson open for the first down. That's a 9-yard gain out to the 37. Again, only need a field goal. Offensive line doing a little bit better here in the fourth quarter, protecting for Cochran. Back to throw. Good clean pocket, but it's breaking down, and Cochran held on to it too long. Sack again from John Stanley, the undrafted free agent, putting in work. 2nd and 14. Cochran again against a blitz. This time it's caught down the field. Tulsa, I think, brought the corners and climbs up to 83 yards. The Florida Storm are close.
Yeah, they're just a corner out there by Klein was wide open. And as you can see, Cam, one of the things that they're doing to negate the defensive line's pass rush, they're actually wanting Cochran to get rid of the ball very quickly. We saw an all slants play 2 plays ago that worked perfectly right down the middle of the field. Here, just throw it up to Klein, get the ball out of your hands quickly.
4 receivers, 3 to the right for Cochran. Waits for the snap, now fires down the field, and really well done. I believe that was the slot safety, Cleo Harris, who swatted that away from Minson. 52 seconds and 1 timeout remains.
I like the idea, though, Cam. Attack the middle of the field, really quick slant routes, or hit them with that long corner route. And they're really here very close to field goal range. Need another probably 15 yards to be safe.
Preseason drama down to the wire at Greenwood District Stadium. Cochran has to dump it off, and again, just swat the ball away. Cap trying to make a play, lost 3.
And all your receivers have to scramble back.
3rd and 14. Cochran going backwards now, trying to go forwards. Diving play is made into field goal range. What an effort. Down the field, that was Robert Merrill out of the slot. 24 seconds. Cochran again, open, one-handed catch for Bush, and Stephen Bush against his own team has given Florida the lead in the preseason. You can't write this stuff, Stephen.
No, Cam, they only had 1 timeout left, so they rushed to the line, And Cochran, an absolute bomb here. One-handed catch by Bush into the end zone. We've seen this time and time again. You can't sleep on the Florida Storm. They will bite you in the end if you let them.
Wow, so Florida hangs around, and Stephen Bush makes an incredible one-handed catch, but Cochran does it again, leading his team all the way down to cap the game. But remember, Stephen, that Charles Ball's back there. Look out.
He's looked in rare form for a preseason game. He's nearly taken this ball back legitimately once, possibly could have done it twice. So this is the opportunity where stars have to step up for your team.
Bush in the chat, SBB 2017, says that's just how I do it. Ball back to return from the 10. He's returned one into Florida territory tonight, and he doesn't have any room to the 29. Well, we saw Corey Jones on a go route get 1 yard away from a touchdown, and Stephen, that is the difference in the ball game. Tulsa had to go for a field goal instead because they couldn't score from 1 yard out. Otherwise, it'd be tied right now.
Yeah, right. You're right. And I believe that tackle was made by Ryan Davidson, and really just a game-saving tackle when you look back on this game.
15 seconds left. Nickens to throw and almost intercepted. And I took a look down at our data from the game, Stephen. This game's been an hour and 21 minutes. It has flown by here this evening.
Well, and luckily that ball kind of flew by there, the defender, and patted down and still got an interception. So what that does, though, it does stop the clock, although Tulsa has all of their timeouts. But with just 11 seconds left, I think you're just maybe trying to get this into Hail Mary range.
Yeah, I think so. They need a touchdown anyway. Empty 5 wide. Alaska only rushes 4. Nickens going long. The pass tipped up in the air and incomplete. So, like you said, Stephen, they have all 3 timeouts, but at this point that's irrelevant with a couple of incomplete passes. And I'm surprised they threw it as deep as they did there. They need about, what do you think, maybe 15 yards for Hail Mary range?
Yeah, somewhere around the 50-yard line. That would probably be although I really honestly think Nickens could throw it farther. He's probably got the strongest arm here in the league.
3rd down. Empty backfield again. Nickens floats it down the middle. Oh, it's dropped. Dropped in the slot, and that would have put him into field goal range. And Marcel Miller has had a rough night. No catches, 3 targets. And like you said, Stephen, in the regular season when game planning reigns supreme, you're not going to see Miller with 3 targets, I guarantee you, especially after tonight.
Well, remember this, Cam. This means that we're not going to be seeing a Hail Mary attempt traditionally. And this is what happened when Seattle was able to make that big play over Florida. So this could be a situation where that's in play.
4th down. Talk about being haunted if that were to happen. 4 receivers for Nickens. Last play of the game. Nickens steps up, and it won't happen tonight. The sack ends it, and instead of giving up a touchdown on the last play of the game, Florida's going to win the preseason game, although they probably would have liked it flip-flopped. Probably would have rather won the playoff game, but the Storm can take some positives and a 17-13 win back home. A very competitive game, almost dead even across the board on all the numbers. And, wow, for preseason, it doesn't get much better than that.
You're absolutely right. And I think, the key takeaways that I'm going to come from this game is how impressed I was by Tulsa's rookie defensive line. They really were able to get some pressure on one of the top, if not the premier quarterback in this league in Ron Cochran. And that really, I think, kept them in this ball game. But you talk about the individual performances. Deacon Nickens, as we're seeing right there. For me, though, if we're going to talk about player of the game, give me Barry Barkley. 2 interceptions on your new team. Just a really impressive performance among a lot of different impressive performances.
I got to give it to Bush. He caught the game winner, did it against his former team. Cochran threw 3 picks tonight. Wasn't his sharpest night, but Stephen Bush, man, he made the clutch play when it mattered, and You know, it's not often, Steven, you get to play your former team and not only, you know, play well, but also sort of, you know, down the stretch in the biggest moment, sort of stick it to them. Not to say that the relationship is soured by any means.
Oh, no, I don't think there's any kind of rivalry that's happening yet. Although these kind of games can spark that kind of hatred between teams, especially when they're this close. But I think Tulsa will take and learn a lesson from this. You can't count the Florida Storm out at any point in the game.
And Jeff Malinisham with the pick, the sack, the touchdown, and 4 tackles, the rare defensive player of the game. And I like that pick, too. Congratulations to Jeff. And final thoughts, Steven, before we send the people home. 4 preseason games tomorrow starting at 6 Eastern.
Well, I'm just honored to be back in the saddle with you again here in the game, be part of helping to launch this season. And I'm going to wish you and Charles the best of luck throughout the season. You guys will see a combo of me and Cam down the line here at some point. But just great to be back, not just personally, but to have SFL football back.
Jacksonville beats Arizona 17-8 in the other game. That's also just gone final. For Charles Doherty on stats, Stephen Mullinex, I'm Cameron Irvine. This has been a presentation of the SFL Network on Twitch. And for all of us in SFL Productions and on the league and team staffs, have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Dilly dilly.
Oh, I missed the dilly dilly.